$1,000 on a new Hyundai. Or get 0% for 60 months and make no payments for 90 days on a new Palisade or Santa Fe. Get Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. From Hyundai West Dallas, a member of the International Autos Group. Visit HyundaiWestDallas.com today. Financing with approved credit. $1,667 for every $1,000 finance with $0 down. Offers cannot be combined. Ends 9/2/2025.
This is Al Feckler at Cannon & Dunphy. Call me old school, but I have such great memories of growing up in Milwaukee, going to ball games at County Stadium, cruising on Highway 100, even seeing Cannon & Dunphy commercials as a kid. That's because for over 40 years, Cannon & Dunphy has been leveling the playing field against big corporations and insurance companies so people like you, people I grew up with in Milwaukee, could get the justice they deserve. I guess I like to call that old school justice. If you're injured, call the team at Cannon & Dunphy.
Do you guys want to go camping this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're going to have to help pack because your dad and I still have some work to do.
What do you need us to do?
Gather up supplies like sunscreen, insect repellent.
Ice cream. We'll need Cedar Crest ice cream.
Well, you're in luck, Arlo. Your dad has one of those coolers that holds ice cream for 48 hours.
S'mores with ice cream.
How about Cedar Crest Campfire S'mores ice cream?
Yeah, we'll need lots of spoons.
Indoors or out, anytime is a great time for Cedar Crest.
Get up! Get out of here and go!
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field, here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
All right, it happens. I mean, you can't win them all. If you want to fast forward and get to the bottom of what the analysis is about today's 7-1 loss to the San Francisco Giants. Number one, they didn't get the big hit. They went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Number two, Freddie went short. The bullpen was depleted. And, well, some guys needed days off and a couple of key errors, and that's the story of the game. So there's your post game. Good night. We'll see you later. But if you want a little bit more, we're going to be repeating ourselves a lot from that first opening statement. I don't think there's any reason to overreact or freak out or just sort of be like, oh my gosh. I mean, let's look at this lineup objectively and understand that Bryce Trang had a sore wrist from the hit by pitch yesterday. His health in October is the priority. No need to push it today. Andrew Vaughn had played in 28 consecutive games and 38 of 39. So give him a breather as well. And then, furthermore, you knew you had your bullpen sort of, in dire straits in a bit. You probably weren't going to use Trevor McGill today for 3 in a row. And even if it was Uribe available today, it would have been the 4th time in the last 6 days for Uribe. So you would have been cautious around him as well. There were a lot of things against the Brewers today. And one way they could have eased that tension is scoring more runs. But they were facing Logan Webb on the other side, so you got to give him credit. So all of that, we will break it down, and we will talk about it in a Brewers sense of what went right, what went wrong, and what you can look ahead to tomorrow for, as it is still TBA as to who is going to pitch for the Crew. But real quick, let's get you up to speed with a highlight recap.
Ready for this?
Out of here!
This?
Brought it back! Ho, ho, ho!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
All right, ace-off, Freddie Peralta against Logan Webb. Both pitchers among the best in the game. There are a lot of base runners in this contest early. A 2-out walk to Willy Adames, no problem there in the first. And then a leadoff single by Sal Frelick was erased on a strike him out, throw him out in the first inning. Brewers couldn't get anything done there. And the second, 2 left on by Freddie Peralta with a pair of walks. That was a theme today for Freddie, but he left them stranded. The Brewers got a 1-out hit by pitch by Jake Bowers, and Caleb Durbin snapped a little schneid with a double.
2-0 pitch. Durbin lines one into the gap in right center field. They're going to be running a while. Bowers is around third. He will score as Durbin drives in the game's opening run with an RBI double.
So they're in business, right? Man in scoring position with 1 out. Siegler would draw a walk, but Perkins would ground out and Monasterio would fly out. The Brewers go 0 for 2 in that little stint with runners in scoring position. In the third inning, the Brewers get back on track with Freddie Peralta despite another 1-out walk. He got his old friend Willie.
1-2, swing and a miss. Change up down and in, and he strikes out Willy Adames. Freddie will be pleased with that outcome.
It's good to see the changeup continue the good times and use it against righties. He had 5 Ks, through 3 innings. The problem was he was at 65 pitches through 3 innings. The Brewers hit a 1-out double in the third. Could not cash that runner in with a Contreras pop-out and a Yelich liner to left center. Man, that ball was crushed, but it died at the track. Now, Freddie Peralta got through 5 innings, and he got some help from his defense as well.
1-1 is a little pop-up behind short. Monasterio dives, and he makes the catch. A squibber right off the end of the bat from Gilbert. Monasterio had a long way to run. Took up some dirt with him. But a nice catch from Monasterio.
And then a double play would end that 5th inning, and at that time it is still 1-0 Brewers. But Logan Webb is settling in. He had a 1-2-3 bottom of the 5th. And then the wheels came off all of a sudden in the 6th. Freddie had to be lifted after 96 pitches. The Brewers go to Grant Anderson against Willie Adames at 3-4-5 in the order. First batter, he got a ground ball, but Monasterio threw the ball away for an E6, and the Giants did their best Brewers impression. Dominic Smith, a single up the middle. That put runners on first and second. Then Casey Schmidt, a double down a left field line on a ball that got past the third baseman Siegler. So now that first run scores from the error. There are runners now on second and third and still nobody out. Grant buckles down. He gets a strikeout against Matt Chapman. Infield remains in for Luis Matos.
Try and get Matos. Got to climb back in the at-bat. 2-0. Ground ball to third. Siegler can't make the play. It's into left, a base hit. They'll send the runner around. Here comes Collins' throw to the plate. It's cut off. And it's 3-1 San Francisco.
That was the play they would not look back on. 2 errors in the inning made it 3-1 Giants. All 3 runs were unearned in the frame, and then the cherry on top was a 3-run homer in the 7th inning off of Carlos Rodriguez, back up to the big leagues. This one also by Casey Schmidt. So it was 7-1. That's really all she wrote. You lost it. It's no big deal. Now we scoreboard watch the rest of the night. We'll break it all down with Jerry Augustine coming up in just a moment right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. I'm Tony Wendorf. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Contact us today to get started. Tony Wendorf & Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us at WendorfTeam.firstweber.com.
Cotroneo with a 2-run blast.
That's the sound of August Brewers baseball in Milwaukee. Make the most of every remaining summer game day and get your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
At Advent, nasal congestion and sinus infections can be solved with an in-office 20-minute procedure. Elsewhere, expect surgery.
AdventNose.com. This is Brewers Extra Innings.
All right, Brewers fall tonight, 7-1. The sky is not falling. Haven't had a clunker in 3 weeks or so since the finale of that Cubs series here at American Family Field on July 30th. Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. If you're looking for a banking partner that truly understands your business needs, look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit it out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. 855-616-1620 is the phone number. Again, 855-616-1620. Sonic Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. Jerry Augustine is with us as well. Augie, I refuse to overreact to a game like this. They did not play well. They know that. You know that. 2 errors. When was the last time we saw them commit 2 errors in a game? And they also, we've talked about it many times, this team is not built on making errors. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter how many errors or who pitched in this game. The Brewers went over 7 with runners in score position. You're almost never going to win a game like that.
Yeah, the first, it's really a tale of 2 games. The first 5 innings were excellent. The 6th inning, things got away to a couple errors where the Giants were able to come in and score 3 runs and then add 4 runs in the 7th. Really were the story of the game. But one thing let us down. We made a couple errors that defensively they were able to get 300 runs in that 6th inning. Really was the story of the ball game. But I tell you what, Freddie pitched very well against Logan Webb, who just kept the game under control. We looked at the Brewers 0 for 7. With runners in score position, those were all with Logan Webb pitching on the mound. So he controls the ball game, threw the ball very well, and was able to hold the Brewers down until they were able to score some runs in the 6th inning.
So when we look at Freddie's start today, though, too, let's start there specifically. On the naked eye, 5 innings, shutout ball, 6 strikeouts, and only 2 hits, but the 4 walks in the long innings. Freddie said it himself after the game today, talking to the media. It's just, I need to be better than that. And he knows that. The Brewers know that as well. For him to have these long innings, his pitch count by inning went like this: 13, 31, 21, 20, and then finally 11 in the 5th inning. And there was bullpen activity in that 5th inning. There was a chance he wasn't going to complete 5. And simply, it starts there. Freddie needs to go longer. The walks are getting a little bit problematic. He had so many counts that went longer than 6 pitches, and outs that went longer than 6 pitches when he was ahead 1-2 or 0-2. Those are the ones that keep a start like this, where his stuff indicated, hey, man, you can go 6-7 innings today with your stuff. But the command was more like, hey, you're lucky to have got through 5 today.
Yeah, I thought he did a nice job of getting the leadoff hitters almost each and every inning, and I thought he did a nice job. But the walks really, when you're talking about 6 walks, 6 strikeouts, a lot of deep pitch counts. Today he didn't look like he had as good a command of his fastball that he usually has. His secondary pitches really came through for him. But these are one things that Freddie will get better on as he goes along, that education process. He continually goes out there and tries to improve on things. And one of the things he's gonna have to improve on is being able to make pitches early in counts. Make things happen in games when you don't go to 3-ball counts or don't go to deep counts each and every time. And I thought tonight he threw the ball very well. He was able to utilize his secondary pitches very well. Just didn't have quite as good a command of his fastball as he usually does. But, you get the 4 walks, you had the 6 strikeouts in there. That's a lot of big, deep counts. And that's where he's going to have to improve in. And he improves in that area. I'm going to tell you what, he's going to be able to go much deeper in ball games. But he threw the ball very well tonight, and he kept the Brewers in the ball game.
I looked closer. 11 out of 21 first pitch strikes, roughly a 50% rate. You wanted that to be more like a 2/3 rate, and an elite day would be like a 3/4 rate. But to be only about 50% with first pitch strikes doesn't help. But then furthermore, of those 11 first pitch strikes, he followed it up with ball 1 7 of the 11 times. So the counts weren't necessarily working in his favor. He wasn't. Also, I give credit to the Giants for their game plan, because after that first pitch fly out by Dominic Smith in the first inning, only 3 other guys swung at the first pitch the rest of the game. So 4 total first pitch swings against Freddie Peralta in 21 batters, and yet he only threw first pitch strikes to 11 of them, and then you subtract those 4 first pitch swings. So 17 batters took the first pitch, and only 7 of them were a called strike. And that's where I think the culprit is today for the pitch count being up too high. Freddie's command just was a little off, and I'm not trying to bag on Freddie because he still got through 5 without clearly his best command of the night. But we've seen this just maybe a couple too many times that some fans would be like, oh gosh, freaking out. But this is part of the Freddie experience sometimes, and if he needs to recalibrate for a start or two, you know he's going to pitch in the playoffs. The margins are so small in the playoffs that walks or rallies, and you want to make sure that he nips those in the bud as quickly as possible.
No, I agree with you. 100%. I think the big thing with Freddie is not being able to walk guys and getting early counts where you get ahead and you really pitch with your fastball. Well, I thought the big difference in the ball game, Dom, was that he didn't have as good a command of his fastball that he usually has. Wasn't able to get those first pitch strikes with his fastball and set the rest of that bats up. And that's what the Giants did. They found looked early. It seemed like he wasn't getting that fastball over, missing with the breaking ball, and that's what they took advantage of. But he pitched great. He didn't give up any runs. He pitched 5 strong innings, and you were hoping that the Brewers could score some runs. You look at what the Brewers did. They had runners on base every inning except the 5th and the 9th inning. So they were able to get guys on, but they just couldn't come up with some big hits or get their rallies going like they usually do. And that's the story of the ballgame. Sometimes you have that. And with the 6th inning, with the 2 errors, it really changed the whole how the game was going to be played for the rest of the game. And they scored 4 in the 7th, but that 6th inning was really a big blow for the Brewers.
Yeah, we'll talk about that inning and what went wrong for the Crew in that one. But we talked about this stat briefly last night about the Brewers being in the middle of this long 19-in-a-row stretch, and we brought up the numbers last night, and they're relevant again tonight when your starter only goes 5 innings. So now, over these last 10 games now is what it is. Brewers starters have thrown 47 innings, whereas Brewers relievers have thrown 42 1/3 innings. That needs to get bigger. That needs to be leaning more to the starter. We don't know who the starter is technically going to be tomorrow yet, but that's not, we're at the halfway point of this long stretch, and the fact that it is so close. Freddie knew he needed to go longer, and every starter knows they need to go longer, especially after that tough stretch in Chicago with the short start from Miz and him still trying to build back up. The point being, you really need somebody to take the ball. So I'm going 7, and you can't do anything about it. I'm going 7 tonight, and that would go a long way for the Brewers.
Yeah, there's no question. If you can get a couple guys to get into that 6th inning and get into the 7th inning, it would be huge for this ball club. And these are things that they're going to need in the next 13 games because of the staff and the way you're going to use them. I give Carlos Rodriguez a lot of credit. He had a bad 7th inning where he gave up the 4 runs, but after he was going to stay in the game, was able to maintain and gave him 2 shutout innings. But the big thing in this ball game is that Freddie got deep in the game. He had 5 innings, 96 pitches. You like him to get that a little bit lower. If he were just the walks made a big difference. The strikeouts make a little bit difference. Going deeper in the counts with the breaking balls go difference. But yeah, I agree with you, Don. Next 13 games are going to tell a lot about with this ball club, where you're going to have starters go deeper in the ball game, get early outs, get early pitch counts that are down with each inning, and have 1, 2, 3 innings. I think that'll make a big difference. But Freddie didn't have his fastball location, I thought, the way he did, really liked it, and so he had to go to secondary pitches, but he still threw the ball very well.
Yeah, he still got 13 swings and misses. The changeup still looked great. He threw a few more sliders than usual today. Got some, and also it was really only the fastball that was having big misses. I thought he had some really competitive breaking balls today that weren't getting nibbles, and that's baseball. But 4 walks, you aren't going to win many games doing that. And he exited only with a 1-0 lead. Let's talk about that big 6th inning. It turned out to be the difference of the game. Coming up after this on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Get away with huge savings at Hyundai West Allis during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, where you can make your best deal and save an additional $500 on a new Hyundai, or get 0% for 60 months and make no payments for 90 days on a new Palisade or Santa Fe. Get Hyundai Assurance and America's Best Warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty from Hyundai West Allis, a member of the International Autos Group. Visit HyundaiWestAllis.com today. Financing with approved credit. $1,667 for every $1,000 financed with $0 down. Offers cannot be combined. Ends 9/2/2025.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, And that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee, home to the state's most up-to-date luxury appliance showroom, featuring top brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Bosch, GE Cafe, and more. They work seamlessly with your designer or contractor. Customize with colors from Blue Star and True Residential. As a small family-owned business with one location, they handle everything from start to finish. Visit ApplianceGalleryWI.com or stop in today.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers fall today 7-1. Back at it tomorrow. It'll be a 1:10 first pitch, but remember, be here early. Be in your seats by 12:15. Big day for Bob Uecker. Celebration of life. Be here early. The Brewers are a team that is known for its defense. They're a team that holds on to leads. They're a team that does the little things right. And in that sixth inning with Grant Anderson on the mound, who gets strikeouts but also relies on the ground ball, look, I look at 3 different plays that an out needed to be recorded on, and they got one, thank goodness, on a miracle tag by William Contreras. But the lead off the inning on a throwing error on a routine ground ball to Andre Monasterio, I know he wants that one back. That's why there's an error column, because when you make a mistake, that's what happens. And then, a soft single in the center shouldn't hurt you, but first and second, nobody out. Schmidt hits one hard, sneaks in inside of the bag down the third base line. All right, that scores a run, that ties the game. But for him to get the strikeout on Chapman, that's when I started to see a light at the end of the tunnel there, Jerry Augustine, because it's like, okay, Matos, he's a guy that refuses to strike out, but he'll hit a ground ball, and he got the ground ball he needed right at the third baseman with the infield in, and the man on third at that time was Dominic Smith, not a fast runner. So you had an opportunity to get the out, but it goes under Siegler's glove, and that's the difference of the game, because you did have an opportunity to get out of that frame and get out of it and escape, but instead 3 unearned runs score in the inning, and the Giants never looked back.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think with that first one with Monasterio, he just got a little bit rushed. Looked like he got a little bit rushed and overthrew the ball at first base. The Matos in this series has really swung the bat very well. I think he came in hitting under 200, hitting over 200 right now. The last time I saw his last at bat, but putting the ball in play, I think if you ask Sigler, I think he would tell you each and every time he just misplayed that a little bit. The ball got on him a little bit too quick. Looked like it had some overspin on it a little bit, and just got by him. And that was really the key. You make those 2 errors, whether it's the first one by Monasterio or that one by Sigler, really made the difference in the ball game. If you can get through one of those 2, you're going to be successful, just like you said, and have a good inning and still be in the ball game. But unfortunately, the 2 errors happened. That doesn't happen much with the Brewers, and they were able to take the lead with the 3-1 score there, and then adding the 4 in the 7th with the big Schmidt home run really made the difference.
This is the time in this 19 in a row where options matter, and having roster flexibility and pitching depth matters. And so reporting now by Adam McCalvey of MLB.com is that Carlos Rodriguez is packing his bag right now in the locker room, meaning that it is still TBD, but if you're going to make a corresponding move for the active roster, Rodriguez is optionable and he would be able to come up. So then the other catch, though, is it can't be Tobias Myers since he was just optioned on Wednesday in Chicago. You have to spend at least 15 days in the minor leagues for him to come back up, and he's also not stretched out as a starter right now. And then you start to think ahead of could it be an Easton McGee? Could it be a Craig Yoho? But it's like, who's going to start? Are they just going to go full bullpen game and then leave themselves just as worse for wear on Monday following Brendan Woodruff? So if you can put your tinfoil hat on, Chad Patrick seems like a very likely suitor to be here tomorrow. And for the folks suggesting that it could be Robert Gasser, I suppose it could be, but there would also need to be a corresponding 40-man move to get him back here. So I'm going to lean more Chad Patrick, and like we talked about earlier here, Augie, you're going to need length out of him no matter what.
I agree with you. You know, the one thing, you almost are leaning towards Chad Patrick because he can go out and give you innings. He's a guy that can go deeper in the ball games. He pitches. Sometimes he can, with his pitch count, we've seen it early in the season that he's been able to really extend himself a little bit. So I think he's be the guy. I don't think the Brewers want to go to a bullpen game because, now you're using some of the resources that you have in the bullpen. You're going to get some of those guys in the ball game. Yeah, it's okay if you're ahead in the ball game and you're going to use them, but it's not something that you want to plan where you want to use that bullpen. You've got a number of games left. You got 12 games in a row left, so you want to make sure that bullpen stays as strong as possible. So I would probably say if anything, it would be Chad Patrick. He's a guy who can go deep in the ball game. He's keeps you in the ball game, and he's a guy that can go maybe give you 6 innings and maybe even get into the 7th inning if everything goes right. So it's going to be interesting, but I would say it's going to be a guy who can give you innings, no doubt about it.
And then just to lay down the reminder again for all the guys who were not available in today's game. If you threw Trevor McGill today, it would have been 3 in a row, which the Brewers are not going to do that in August. If you threw Abner Uribe, that would have been his 4th time in the last 6 days. That's not likely to happen unless absolutely needed. And then you look at Aaron Ashby. He threw 23 pitches yesterday. He wasn't going to be available today. So that means, and also they're trying to stay away from Shelby Miller on back-to-backs at least temporarily, so he pitched yesterday. So that only leaves you Nick Mears, Grant Anderson, and Carlos Rodriguez. And, well, you save a day for Nick Mears, and Carlos Rodriguez is optionable, and that's where the move is going to come in, and Brewers are going to get creative with their roster here tomorrow. But the point being is that the Brewers came into this game needing some offense. We'll talk offense in the next segment, that if you get out to a big lead, you can just give it to Carlos because he got it back down on the hatches in the last 2 innings. This is baseball. Sometimes with this marathon season, you have to concede, a mile time to be a little slower to make sure that you can be faster later on in the race, and that's what it felt like today was for Pat Murphy.
Yeah, this is really an interesting time for this ball club, and seeing what as starters, you pointed out 47 innings compared to 42 in the 3rd innings. That's a really close ratio there. But I think the big thing that this ball club wants to do is make sure that they keep as healthy as they can in the bullpen. And they've got such a great bullpen. And, like we talked so much before, DL Hall not being there really makes a big difference in what this ball club can do in the bullpen. But I think what you got to see where they are with the starting rotation and still be able to make sure that you don't abuse this bullpen and make sure that you get the guys the work that they need and the rest that they need. And I think that's so important. You still got a lot of games in a row. You got a big month coming up, and you want to make sure that you're healthy through the rest of the games that you have to play. So I think, hopefully you get someone to come in the game and can give you innings tomorrow and take the burden off the bullpen a little bit and come up with a big win. And hopefully that'll work out for the ball club.
Yeah, then you get the 4-game set with the Diamondbacks and then a big 3-game set in Toronto. Quality opponent coming up next weekend north of the border. So they want to make sure they're healthy for that. All right, we'll talk a little offense coming up on the other side of the break. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Brewers fall today 7-1 on 620 WTMJ.
It's the end of summer here in the Milwaukee area, but soon enough, you'll be dealing with cold winter temperatures once again. Time to have Window Nation replace your home's windows in 1 day or less. Right now, get 50% off all window styles, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You could also score 2 tickets to a Brewers game if you replace all the windows in your home. Hurry, Milwaukee. This sale ends soon. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com right now.
Window Nation is a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Even your pickiest eater will say yes to this. Crispy chicken tenders are now at Cousin Subs. Perfect on their own with a favorite dipping sauce, or stacked in one of our 2 new subs. Classic crispy chicken or bold Buffalo Ranch crispy chicken. Made with quality chicken and served on our fresh baked bread. It's a mealtime win for kids and grown-ups. But hurry, these crispy favorites are only here for a limited time. Order in store, online, or on the app today. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia problems, cognitive decline. It's their specialty. They're great at it. And they also offer early memory loss classes. They can help your loved one with locations throughout our state, many here in southeast Wisconsin. I've been in their facilities. They're top notch. It's kindness at the core. It's compassion and empathy at Azura. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is here for you, bringing you the latest headlines with John McCure.
The city, I read, received over 500 emergency calls in a matter of hours. Have you ever seen anything like this in Wauwatosa?
And diving into the details with Julia Fellow.
And aerial footage is quite extraordinary, taking a look at the Menominee River that was raging.
Tune in to Wisconsin's afternoon news, where your day's story unfolds. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Only here on WTMJ. Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers fall today, but it's no big deal. Get back after it tomorrow. Brewers Extra Innings brought to you by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electric. No, it's been tough with all the recent flooding, so if your home's been hit and you're still looking for help, you don't have to wait around. Cider's giving priority service to anyone dealing with sump pump issues, drain backups, or flood-related plumbing repairs. They want to make sure you're taken care of fast. Give Cider a call. 262-436-0505. 262-436-0505 with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electric. Offense, we talked about it at the top, Augie. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The Brewers had a couple of doubles. Durbin's doubled. He wasn't able to score in the second inning. Collins double in the third. He's left stranded by Contreras and Yelich. 2 men aboard in the fourth, and Perkins grounds into a double play. And two things can be true. They're facing an ace on the other side in Logan Webb. But also, aside from Yelly's lineout, today was a day that, hey, you know what? They weren't finding the barrel. That's what Logan Webb's specialty is. And, all right, that was the main reason he lost today's game, is that he didn't get the big hit. You flush it, and you move on.
Yeah, you take a picture of Logan Webb. He's a little bit different than Freddie. Freddie can overpower you, and he's got all the pitches. Logan Webb has all the good pitches, but he does such a great job at locating the pitches, number one, putting the ball in play and keeping the ball down when he needs to. But he's one of those guys in baseball today is kind of an old-style pitcher that kind of controls the game, way he locates the ball very well. And I thought he did that. I thought one of the key plays also, Dom, was in the first inning when Frelick hit the ball. I thought it was a sure double, and Matos did a nice job of keeping him, holding him at a single. And then we had to strike him out, throw him out. So, but when you talk about Logan Webb, he's out there when he gets guys on base. He's able to slow the game down, make sure keeps the ball in play, and keeps the ground ball when he needs it. He dominated the game. He dominated the Brewers, and like you said, they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. That was all when Logan Webb was in the ballgame. So you got to give credit where credit is due. Logan Webb really threw the ball very well tonight.
And then for the Brewers, just to lay out the facts, it was a scheduled day off for Andrew Vaughn. Bryce Terang is day-to-day after getting hit in the wrist yesterday, and that's a concerning area to get hit by a pitch as well. So Durbin goes over to play second. No one else on the roster plays third because Siegler has to be in the game, and Monasterio has to play short while Joey Ortiz is injured. So, again, I've said this a few times before, and I'll say it again here. October doesn't start tomorrow, and nor does this need to be the lineup that starts an October game, right? So I think some of the outrage by sometimes maybe impatient fans, which I love every single one of you guys, and people want to panic because they're so used to winning, and I get it. Like, you like to win. Everybody likes to win. This is not the line. It's not. There's no rule that says, "Oh, you use that lineup on August 23rd. You have to use it in October." This is not the lineup they're going to use in October. Churio will be back. Reese will be back. Vaughn will be in there. Durbin will probably be playing third. Collins will probably be a little bit lower in the order to restart the order with Churio being in there. So Bowers will be a lefty bench bat off the bench. I imagine Monasterio will be on the bench, and Perkins has been ice cold since coming back from the bereavement list. That happens. These are real world things that happens. And again, I just say this over and over again. This team is making sure it's ready to go for October, because if things go according to plan for the Brewers, they've hopefully got, maybe somewhere in the 15 to 19 games left. Because, let's say all series go the distance, 5-7-7, man, that's, 19 games right there. The Brewers want to make sure that it's not just 162. They've got 181 games that they could be getting ready for.
Yeah, I think you put it perfectly there, Dom. It's all about getting back and getting healthy. When this team is healthy, boy, they're a force to be reckoned with. When you look at the changeup in the lineup that you can do and what they'll be able to do. And I agree with you. Not every day now in the next 10 or 12 days is there going to be a special lineup that's going to probably be your lineup in when we come to the postseason. But it's going to give everybody a opportunity to get out there and play and get some at bats. But it all depends on the pitching matchup. Like tomorrow, you have Robbie Ray. Maybe that's another day where you can give Bryce Terang a day off and give him that extra day off. Be ready to go against the D-backs. So it's going to get interesting, and Murphy's going to have to be creative. But I think, like you said, they need to get everybody healthy. Way you win is having everybody healthy. You got to have a good starting staff and a good bullpen and play good defense. But being healthy is so important. That's what this ball club needs right now.
And then tomorrow they get a tough task with Robbie Ray, of course, who's been very good this season. The Brewers kind of got to him a little bit the last time they saw him way back in April, but obviously so much has changed since then. And a reminder here, a text asking from Brian from Tosa, hey, Brian, good to hear from you again, even though you didn't say a word during the 14-game winning streak, but it's okay. We like having the Debbie Downer every now and then text in. But the point here, I said this the other day as well, the Brewers have the best record in baseball against left-handed pitching, and we talked about that with Pat Murphy the other day, and it is a little surprising, but one of the things that he convinces this, and Augie, I know you can speak to this as well, obviously we weren't as hard of a platoon, baseball style of the game when you played where it was, oh my God, you cannot face a left-handed hitter, that never happened for you. But one of the things that Pat Murphy talked about is that the Brewers have an ability with their left-handed hitters like Sal Frelick, like Christian Yelich, if Bryce Terang is in there. All three of those guys are A, everyday players, and B, they can hit lefties. And that's part of the reason the Brewers have the best record in baseball against left-handed starting pitching. In addition to having guys like Caleb Durbin, who torches lefties, William Contreras, who torches lefties, Isaac Collins, the right side is his natural side. So all that is to say is that because the Brewers have a blend of both righties and lefties, there is something to be said about when your everyday players are able to hit both sides of the arm, that makes your offense extremely dynamic.
Oh, it sure does. It gives you a lot of options, and you can really go matchups. And you sometimes, like Murph says, sometimes you make a lineup and you get just a feel that a certain guy against a certain pitcher will do very well, and you can get guys off. But having the left-handers that the Brewers do, to swing the bat the way they do, and being able to hit the ball to all fields and have good at bats is so important. And I just think it's been so good that this ball club this year, they go out and we talk about the manufacturing of runs. Well, the way you manufacture runs, you have to have good at bats, take deep into counts, make adjustments, and this club does that very well. And whether it's left-handed or right-handed, they go out there and do a good job. And like you said, they've been swinging the bat very good against the lefty. But I'll tell you, Robbie Ray is really a good pitcher. It's going to be interesting to see what the lineup is tomorrow, and it's going to be a big ball game. And this ball club has done so well. Why have they done so well? They win series, and that's what's been the most important. And tomorrow's going to be a good challenge for them.
Yeah, and Robbie Ray, just to finish the thought, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and only 4 strikeouts in that start back on April 21st in San Francisco. But he has been really good as of late. Didn't allow an earned run working into the 7th against San Diego. Over his 4 starts here in August, he has completed at least 6 in all 4 of those starts. And the strikeouts are a little lower. The walks are way down, which is huge. And it helps that he's pitched in San Diego and San Francisco and Pittsburgh to keep his home runs down lately. But the home run ball is still something he's susceptible to. 18 homers allowed this season. Look for the long ball tomorrow. Jerry Augustine, tomorrow's a big day here at the Yard, honoring the legendary Bob Uecker and having a lot of old friends coming into the ballpark, and should be a special day.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. It's a fun day to see a lot of people. It's a fun day to commemorate a guy who is Wisconsin. He's all about baseball, both not only in Wisconsin but in the entire nation. So it's going to be an emotional day. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be a great day to honor someone who is so special to everything we do with baseball here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I love it. Jerry Augustine here on 620 WTMJ. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, hopefully talking about a series win.
All right, Dom. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Augie here on WTMJ. Also want to thank our friends at International Autos Group for our player of the game. It's brought to you by IAG. Just like our MVP, you can drive into summer in style and save up to $10,000 on in-stock BMWs, Audis, Mercedes-Benz, and more. No tariffs, just huge savings. Visit IAMilwaukee.com. International Autos Group, where ordinary needs to be extraordinary. If you want to look at a Brewer player, you can give Caleb Durbin for the only RBI of the night. Yelly had 2 hits as well. Those are easy candidates, too. And over on the other side, it's easily Robbie Ray, 6 strong. He earned the win, his 12th of the season. You can also give a nod to Casey Schmidt for his 4 runs batted in. Let's talk a little bit about the state of the Brewers, the race, do a little scoreboard watching after this on 620 WTMJ.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. Experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
2-run blast.
That's the sound of August Brewers baseball in Milwaukee. Make the most of every remaining summer game day and get your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
From an early age, we ask questions.
Why is the sky blue? Where does the sun go at night? Why can't I eat candy for breakfast?
As we grow, the questions continue.
Do you want to go to the prom with me? Can I borrow the car keys? Mom, where's my zit cream?
Even adults are inquisitive.
What's the meaning of life? How big is the universe? Why can't I eat candy for breakfast?
But of all the questions we get asked at Penny Mustard, most are about the penny sectional.
How can a sectional sofa look so majestic and feel so comfortable at the same time?
Can I get this in my choice of fabric or leather?
If I fall asleep on the penny sectional, can I nap forever?
The penny section.
Also, do fish get thirsty?
The penny section.
And circling back to that candy for breakfast thing?
The penny sectional, starting at $62.45 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Let's do a little buying or selling, and we'll look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. We're going to the bottom of the hour here on your home with the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. Pat Murphy coming up in just a little bit as well. So the Brewers fall today in a 7-1 final. A couple of finals mattering to the Brewers. Just went final in San Diego. The Padres have taken the first 2 over the Dodgers, 5-1. So San Diego now sits in first place in the West, at least for a day. And reminder, San Diego has to win the West outright. The tiebreaker goes to the Dodgers if they end up tied. And as things stand right now, the West leader is still a game back of the East leader, which is currently the Philadelphia Phillies. They're at 75 wins. The West leader is at 74 wins, and the Brewers are at 81 wins. So they lose a game when it comes to the best record in the National League. They are still clear by 5.5 games on Philadelphia for that. But we'll be monitoring that head-to-head with LA and San Diego. How much are they going to flip-flop back and forth? Because as of right now, the top 2 seeds would be the Brewers and the Phillies, and they get the bye, which means both LA and San Diego would be in the wild card round. Not necessarily facing each other. Right now, it would be the Cubs hosting the Dodgers, San Diego hosting the Mets. And the Mets gained a little bit of ground today as well, or breathing room, I should say, over the Reds in the wild card race. Mets win 9-2 over the Braves. They are 69-60. The Reds get blown out on the road against the Arizona Diamondbacks today, 10-1 the final. So New York moves their lead to 2.5 over the Cincinnati Reds, still with one more series head-to-head in September. And oh, by the way, the Cubs, they've added on. It is all Cubs tonight in Anaheim. It is currently 10-0. Cubs over the Angels as Reese McGuire hit a grand slam in that one. Kyle Tucker has hit 2 home runs in this one, including a 3-run shot that he literally just hit off Carson Fulmer, and I had no idea Carson Fulmer was still in the league. So good for him. Anyway, the Brewers fall today, but let's do a little buying or selling, shall we? It's brought to you by Tony Wendorf and Associates. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, trust Tony Wendorf and Associates, one of the top real estate teams in Wisconsin and part of First Weber Real Estate Services. They bring faith, family, and a red carpet experience to every home deal. Let's step up to the plate together. WendorfTeam.firstweber.com. What are we buying right now is that the Brewers are getting healthier. And, in fact, Rhys Hoskins today hit another home run in AAA Nashville. Today was his 4th game on rehab, his 3rd one as a first baseman. He's 4 for 15, but you don't really care about results. You care about health. He's got 2 homers down there in AAA Nashville right now, so that's good news. So that's 4 games for him. But the Brewers weren't shy about the fact that they're going to be patient with Rhys Hoskins, especially given there's, not exactly a rush to get him up here with the way that Andrew Vaughn has been playing, and he's going to be still getting everyday at-bats over at first base. Jackson Chourio played his 2nd game of his rehab assignment. He did not play defense today. He was just the DH. He went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Again, we don't care about results in AAA on rehab assignments. All we care about is health. So we're buying the fact that today's lineup was just temporary and just like, hey, man, they're going to get healthy. It's August. There is going to be changes to this roster before October begins. The thing that we're selling, though, is some of the discourse about this bullpen and about this. And this is a good text about it as well from the 262. With the discourse on the internet, you think Grant Anderson has a 6 ERA. Fans don't like him as a pitcher for reasons I can't explain. I can't explain it either. Again, he had 2 errors committed behind him, and he got a strikeout. You look at it in simple layman's terms. Now, baseball doesn't work like this, but you look at it in simple terms. That should have been a 1-1 game, and he left that game in the 6th inning. 2 errors behind him would have been 2 outs. He got a strikeout. That's 3 outs, inning over. But instead, it didn't go that way, and you move on. That's baseball. And we're so used to seeing the Brewers do this to other teams, but we know this for a fact, and that's why we're selling the fact that, hey, we're not going to overreact to a game like this. It's been so rare that the Brewers have a game in which they commit multiple errors in them, and they're, not a very strong team when they do so. In fact, the last time they had a game with multiple reach-on errors in it, you have to go all the way back to July 13th, which was the last game of the first half. This was the first time in the second half you had multiple reach-on errors in a game. This defense doesn't normally do that, so you wear it, you move on. It is no big deal, no reason to freak out. All the reason to keep your composure and keep things in perspective. So again, that's brought to you by Tony Wendorf and Associates. Another thought about the Brewers right now, and something that we're monitoring, is their stolen base totals. They get caught stealing again today. Now, you're not going to steal that many games when you're up big, or steal many bases when you're up big. You're also not going to steal any bases when you're trailing. And furthermore, another reason, I've seen a little bit of discourse about this online, asking what's up with the Brewers' stolen base numbers, why have they slowed down a little bit? Well, it is harder to steal when everybody knows you want to steal. Pitchers, we've talked about this before, are speeding up to the plate. The scouting report may say they're a 1.5, and then all of a sudden they're popping a 1.25 or a 1.3 to the plate, incorporating a slide step that you haven't seen on video. So it's not catching any team by surprise right now. And then furthermore, some of your leading base stealers, like Sal Frelick, has been dealing with knee and hamstring issues all season long. Frelick will get aboard, but also doesn't want to ruin the at-bat for the guy at the plate. Or even like Christian Yelich, if he's hitting in front of William Contreras, he doesn't necessarily want to run on a guy that hits a lot of fly balls. Or then furthermore, you look at Bryce Terang, he's batting lower in the order, but there are so many contact-oriented guys at the bottom of this order. You don't want to be running and then find yourself in a fly ball double play or some batted luck. So the Brewers will turn that up to 11 again at some point, I imagine. But again, it is hard to steal bases when everybody knows you want to steal. So if you include tonight, here in the month of August, the Brewers are just 17 for 24 in their stolen bases attempts. So 7 caught stealings now and only 17 steals in 22 games, which is a slower rate than what we're used to. But hey, they're still outscoring opponents by, coming in now after today about 65 runs or so. So they're doing just fine with their offense and finding creative ways to get the job done. Brewers fall today, no big deal. We're going to hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, in just a moment as the Brewers fall. Back after this on 620 WTMJ.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Why settle for just a job when you can have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee new car dealer members have service technicians, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam member new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.com/jobs. That's ADAMM.com/jobs.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
1-1 is a little pop-up behind short. Monasterio dives and he makes the catch. A squibber right off the end of the bat from Gilbert. Monasterio had a long way to run. Took up some dirt with him. But a nice catch from Monasterio.
That's our Surfside play of the game, brought to you by Surfside, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside iced tea and vodka, and Surfside lemonade and vodka paired perfectly with a day at the ballpark and stocked at American Family Field all season long. Seen a couple of comments on the YouTube chats and tweets as well to me as well. And again, just to reiterate what I've said over and over and over again, there's no rule that says the lineup that you have today, while you're dealing with major injuries to everyday players, means it has to be the lineup you use in October. So everyone use a little bit of critical thinking here and understand this is not the locked-in lineup that it's going to be. So you hold your breath about Bryce Terang. Make sure that this swelling goes down in his wrist. Make sure he's going to be okay. Reese and Jackson are on the comeback trail. You've also got an opportunity to give your bullpen a little bit of a breather. One of the things that can happen tomorrow, look, Jansen's probably going to be in there tomorrow with a lefty on the mound and Robbie Ray, so that means Williams probably going to be DHing, so that means Yelly's probably going to be in left field. I wonder if they put Sal Frelick in center and Collins in right, just to sort of mix it all up a little bit, or maybe Lockridge in center, keep Sal in right, maybe Collins gets the day off or something like that, but the Brewers can do something a little funky tomorrow. And oh, by the way, Isaac Collins today, and this has been happening on and off all season long, especially early. It took some time off in the middle, but now it's come back lately. Isaac Collins is taking ground balls at third base again. And Isaac is somebody that is initially an infielder in his professional career. He was an infielder, middle infielder at Creighton. Most of his experience has come as an infielder, but this year the Brewers needed him in the outfield. He's played all over in his minor league career. 176 minor league games at second base, but only 14 games at third base. And he was getting a ton of work at third base during spring training because there's just so much that needs to happen and change. And, they didn't know what they had. And then they moved him to left field, and boom, you make the roster, and now he's a Rookie of the Year candidate. they want to keep that tool sharp just in case. If they need to make a change to their lineup, that's something. So that's in the very back of your mind. I'm not saying it's urgent. I'm not saying it's something that's imminent for the Brewers, but we may see that happen at some point in September. Maybe he gets a game or two over there at third base to see what he's got. And a reminder about Anthony Siegler. Same thing. He's learning third base on the fly. He's a super utility player in his minor league career. He's even an emergency catcher if need be. He had not played third base prior to this year. He had played catch, second base, a little bit of outfield as well. But just 12 minor league games at third base, then you're up in the show. Good luck, kid. That's sometimes how it has to happen for the Brewers. He's now played more games in the big leagues at third base than he has in the minor leagues. And he made an error. Everybody makes mistakes. It's no big deal. And you'll hear Pat Murphy talk about that today. And mind you, that was actually the first error that Anthony Siegler has committed in the big leagues. That's got to be worth something as well. That being said, let's hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, after today's defeat.
More of the situation was really our bullpen was depleted. And then we saw Freddie's velocity in the fifth really drop down. He was behind in the count, and maybe he had more. I believe he probably had some more in the tank, but we can't start risking that with our state of affairs right now, with Henderson down and DL Hall down, Rob Z down. You know, we can't risk Freddie. You know, so yeah, unfortunate, but the error hurt us in the Grant Anderson inning. Grant's been really good for us all year, but you know, it's not the normal guy we'd bring in a 1-0 game in the sixth. And then after that, we didn't have much else. We didn't want to bring, once it became 3-1, we needed to get some length out of somebody. So unfortunately, that's the way it was. Turang's wrist just didn't feel good enough to go. That's unfortunate. He's been our hottest hitter. It was kind of a planned day off for Vaughn. He was certainly available, but as it turned out, we gave Bowers a shot to get some ABs because he might be critical for us. Yeah, it just didn't line up. You know, we didn't do enough. Webb is one of the best pitchers in the game, and he pitched great when he had to. We had him on the ropes a few times, but didn't get the big hit. You know, but yeah, our defense hurt us a little bit tonight. That was a little bit of the story, but credit the Giants. You know, the kid pitched great. Their pen pitched great, so you know, credit them.
Is there a sense that Bryce should be back tomorrow, or is it going to kind of be dependent on how he feels again?
He was pretty sore today, so the swelling's in there pretty good still. Let's see, you know. What do you think? You want Bryce in there? Yeah, me too. See, LJ knows. There's Brewers fans everywhere. Yeah, we're a little depleted. If you look out there tonight, you might have trouble with your scorecard with the spellings, but, you know, that's okay, you know.
That's managing with the big picture in mind.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, we were trying to win tonight, but you have to be health conscious and you have to use the whole roster, you know, use the whole roster. And if they're on the roster, they're going to have to help us. And you get put in a situation sometimes and, you know, you can't put your top relievers in a losing game, and the guys that are in that role for us of having to come in those games at 3-1, whatever it is, you have to keep it close, and that didn't happen tonight. So it's unfortunate, but it's where we're at right now.
It's such a small sample with Rodriguez in the major leagues, but what do you think you have in him? Are you still trying to kind of figure out if he's a guy who can help?
Yeah, he's battled back from injury this year, but, you know, he showed earlier in the year that he could help us in Pittsburgh when he threw both sides of the doubleheader almost, or before the rainout and after the rainout. He went through some injury stuff. It's come back. He's been successful in the minor leagues. He hasn't really just caught his rhythm in the big leagues. You know, he really hasn't had a chance to be a starter every day in and day out. I'm not sure what we have, but, you know, obviously he's right on that borderline right now. Like, hey, maybe this guy can help us. We'll see. He settled down and pitched 2 decent innings. So he's got a style of pitching that isn't going to be just, you know, strike. But, yeah, that's also effective sometimes. Yeah.
When you're rattling off streaks like you guys did, earlier this month. I mean, obviously it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't win anything, but at the same time, is it a streak like that that gives you a little bit of cushion when you know you're going to have days like this and it doesn't hurt you as much as it would if it was like a one-game type race?
Well, speak for yourself, because it hurts me, because I won't sleep nearly as well. Not that my sleep really that matters that much, but it does hurt. They all hurt. Every loss hurts. Cushion isn't a word I want to use. I just want to play right, and I had no problem with how we competed tonight. There was no lack of effort. There was no lack of anything. I thought the guys are, these guys care a lot, and they want to do special things. And because they have such little experience, and because, there's a lot of guys that fill out the roster that are new to the big leagues, you're going to have games that this happens.
That's it. I mean, just kind of like what we're talking about here, too. There's no reason to overreact to a singular loss. And they win the series tomorrow. All right, move on. No big deal at all. You'll be up 6 games still in the division when the night ends, as the Cubs are probably bound to win tonight. The Brewers lose. But, hey, let's say you win tomorrow and the Cubs lose tomorrow. You're right back to 7. And there's less time for them to make it up. 32 games to go. About a month left. It's going to happen quickly. So let's talk about those upcoming schedules with our window ahead coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
My gut tells me that this summer heat's gonna last, and that means your AC's gonna be put through the paces. Now, we all know that AC can take a licking and keep on ticking, especially if it's an Armstrong. But when yours needs to be put out to pasture, call Quality. With over 70 vehicles on the road, we'll be there in a hurry. And with over 60 years of experience, how can you go wrong?
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. I don't have to tell you that a lot of dust and other junk collects in your ductwork. And it doesn't just sit there. It's blowing around in your home. And that jeopardizes your home health. The commercial industrial duct cleaning system we use at Quality darn near sucked the shirt right off our tech the first time he used it. Believe me, not everybody has this powerful of a system. It's unlike any other. At Quality, you get the best duct cleaning, period. So call Quality first for your duct cleaning needs.
For the signature service you deserve.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
This is Brewers Extra Innings. What's coming up for the crew? This is your window to what's ahead. Brought to you by Window Nation.
All right, let's get to it. Tomorrow, we are on the air at noon. And don't worry, we will carry the Bob Uecker celebration of life here on WTMJ. We're on the air at noon. Game first pitch scheduled is 1:10. Psst. It's not going to be 1:10. But be here early. 12:15 is when we are recommending you to be in your seats. Now, I'll also let you in on a little bit of secret if you're still listening here tonight. If you are in line and you are like, you're looking at your, oh my gosh, 12:18. Oh my gosh, I'm missing. Hey, it actually starts at 12:30. But just be here early. Like, be to things early. Like, that's my whole motto. Like, be early. You never regret being early. So they will open the gates early. They will open the parking lots early. 10 o'clock for the lots, 10:30 for the gates. Be here early. It is an awesome program. We got a sneak peek. There's some activations around the ballpark. You can get the Uke merch available too. Tomorrow's the day. If you are lucky enough to have a ticket, you are going to leave with one heck of an experience and seeing some things that people have never seen before. So really happy for everybody who gets to see that. It is also going to be carried on FanDuel, so I'm just going to be honest there. If you want to listen, if you want to watch, if you're out on the lake and you want to listen to it, you got us here. If you want to stream it, it's on FanDuel as well. So You've got options to be able to catch it, but for the people in person, it is going to be brilliant. Bob Costas is going to be the master of ceremonies. Bud Selig is going to be here. Ted Simmons is going to be here. Robin Yount is going to be here. Christian Yelich is going to have a small role in it, too. So there's just some really, really cool stuff happening tomorrow. So TBD still for the Brewers starter in the actual game up against Robbie Ray. Then the Diamondbacks come to town, and the Brewers have the first few names of that, most likely to be Brandon Woodruff coming up on Tuesday of that series. And then it will be Jacob Woodruff on Monday, Mizorowski on Tuesday, Priester on Wednesday, and then in theory it would reset with Jose Quintana on Thursday to wrap up that 4-game set with the Diamondbacks, who won again tonight. They're only 2 games under 500, but they are out of the playoff picture, as Shelby Miller will get to see all of his old teammates in that one too. That will wrap up the homestand, this 4-game set this week. It'll be 6:40 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then your 1:10 getaway day on Thursday. The Brewers head north of the border real quick. 3-game set with the best team in the American League, the Toronto Blue Jays, who are a carbon copy of the Brewers. They don't strike out. They put the ball in play. They hit enough home runs, and they have a really good bullpen. Sound familiar? So those 3 games coming up next weekend in Toronto. And then they're right back home for Labor Day week. Monday against the Phillies, off on Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday against the Phils as well. And I know there's much to be made about the Cubs' schedule, and that's factual. They have some weaker opponents on the way. But don't lose sight that the Brewers also get to face the Diamondbacks, who are not playing up to snuff this season. They get these Giants a chance to win the series tomorrow. They've got one more with Pittsburgh. Texas has fallen off a cliff. They get another series with them. They get 2 more series with the Cardinals. They have 1 more series with the Angels. And then they finish with the Padres and the Reds. So they still have 5 more series against teams under 500. So, and they're also a very good team. They have the best record in baseball against teams above 500. That doesn't happen by accident. And the Brewers are still a very quality club, getting healthy at the right time. So we will react to who will be the starting pitcher tomorrow. That is our look ahead, the window ahead, brought to you by Window Nation. And right now you can get 50% off all window styles, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. Hurry, the sale ends soon. Trust Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. It was great to see John Axford in the ballpark again today as well. I talked about this on Brewers Warm-Up, played a lot of audio from the Axeman earlier today about the story that when he blew out his elbow here in 2021, when he made that awesome comeback out of nowhere, and that he blows out his elbow, all that rehab, all that training to get back, and that 2 days later, him and Bob Uecker were having a conversation in the kitchen in the clubhouse, and Uecker was very direct and talked to him like a player. And that's what Bob was, obviously, a World Series champion, mind you. And that inspired, Axe to go through the rehab, to go through the difficulty of Tommy John at 38 years old, to go out on his own terms and to get that opportunity. And he thanked Bob Uecker today in his speech to going on to the Wall of Honor, that because of that speech and because of that pep talk, he decided to get the surgery, decided to rehab, and he got to pitch in the World Baseball Classic for Team Canada, and he got to go out on his own terms. So congratulations to John Axford and family. What a story it was. Multiple colleges, multiple transfers, cut by the Yankees, learned from the greatest maybe to ever do it in Trevor Hoffman, and now on the Wall of Honor here in Milwaukee. And we also posted a really fun video, him talking about his 4 favorite films. If you know anything about John Axford, he's still involved with the Milwaukee Film Festival. Really good, insightful list on my socials as well. That is going to do it for our program tomorrow. Man, tomorrow's going to be a great day. Looking forward to seeing all the smiling faces here at the ballpark. Our producer has been Evan Witalison. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Until next time, keep on swinging.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime